If players pass through them, they'll take damage. If they throw them on vehicles, the vehicles will continue to take damage as well. And in this case, I don't think it's enough to actually destroy that vehicle. Let's see, what else do we got? Deployable cover is another type of equipment that you'll see in the campaign a lot. This is similar to the bubble shield in that it does create a barrier for me, but unlike the bubble shield, it allows me to actually shoot out of it. I believe it only works with human-based weapons, not energy projectiles. Eventually, it'll take enough damage, it will fall apart, but it's pretty cool in a pinch if you need to try to bail your teammates out, and that's the deployable cover. This guy here is the gravity hammer. This is, you're going to see this in campaign a lot. The brute chieftains will wield this, and in a lot of ways, it's sort of like the brute version of the sword, in the sense that if it's a direct one hit, it's going to result in the kill. Unlike the sword, though, this thing has a big area of effect damage on it. So, see here, I just hit the ground and that chopper went flying. In campaign, you hit the ground, 6-7 grunts go flying through the air. And when I use my main attack with the right trigger, I actually have a depleting energy supply, so it's not an infinite weapon. And here's an interesting little item. This is the flamethrower that was originally slated for Halo 1, didn't quite make it. Supposed to be in Halo 2, didn't quite make it. Now finally, for the third and final chapter, we have the flamethrower in the game. It's going to work very similar to that fire grenade. Shoots out a liquid stream of fire. If you, and it does overheat if you fire too much consistently. You can light up a big patch of ground and it'll continue to burn. To be honest, it has limited uses, I think, for skilled players because most of the weapons in the game are ranged and you won't ever get close enough to burn somebody usually. So by default, you're not going to find a flamethrower on very many maps at all in multiplayer, but through Forge, if you decided that you wanted to make a map that was all about burning, then you could just add flamethrowers and firebombs and do that. In something like CTF, it's pretty useful actually as a defensive measure to basically create a wall of fire around your flag and weaken the attackers. This is
Can I quickly ask you
sure.
whether the flamethrower actually affects foliage now?
It does not, no. This is another new weapon called the Mauler. It's sort of like a mix between the human shotgun and the brute spiker. It's basically like a big, meaty, one-handed shotgun. It's got a pretty small clip, really devastating at close range. As you can see, I can dual wield them. One of my favorite combos lately is a single shot followed by a melee at close range is pretty much a guaranteed kill. And then I also have the fuel rod gun, which was around in Halo 2 a little bit. Been kind of revamped. You know, another cool thing about Forge too is not only can you do weapons, vehicles, we talked about spawn points, we talked about crates and objects. You can actually add teleporters as well. So imagine how that could change the play of something like Valhalla, where you can instantly go from one base to the other. Or if you wanted to turn Valhalla into something like Blood Gulch, you could essentially do that. One of the coolest applications that I've seen of these teleporters is in team games. Somebody would drop an entry node near their team spawn point, place a receiver node, and then pick it up. And basically what they'll do is fly this thing around as their teammates are spawning out of it in real time. So, you know, if your opponents are holed up inside this base, just fly this over top, and now suddenly 3 of your teammates can jump out of it in midair, and there they are right in the middle of the base. And those are the types of sort of just who knows what the hell is going to happen scenarios that are only going to be limited by people's creativity. And then when you're all done, you can save this map locally to your hard drive, upload it to Xbox Live, and everybody else can then play my version of High Ground, which in this case kind of sucks, but if I wanted to, I would have made it a little bit better. And then one other thing that tags onto this that I can show you really quickly in regards to user-created content and customization is the ability to customize game types. It's always been a huge part of the Halo experience. It was in Halo 1. It was even more robust in Halo 2. For Halo 3, it's even more insane. I'll give you an example here. I'll just pull up the generic Slayer. I can bring up these options. So, of course, I can change how many points to win. This is where things start to get kind of crazy. I can basically break this down to decide that if I want, how many points do I get for killing somebody? How many points do I get for an assist? Do I lose points if I die? Do I get a bonus points for killing the leader of the round? Do I get a bonus point for headshots? We just added some ridiculous amount of combinations that people can use to customize to make all these game variants change differently. Some of the bigger ones are things like player speed, player gravity. So you can make players move at 200% speed and have low gravity so they can literally jump across the map in a single bound. Sensors, weapons and damage. I can decide if I want you to have extra damage, if I want you to have infinite ammo, limited ammo. I can do this for everything, every setting, every game type has its own subset of options. But the coolest one, in my opinion, is under this general setting. Oops, hold on a second. Oops, it's not available in this game type. Let me change it real quick. You essentially can create your own custom power-up. How did I do that last time? Sorry about that. Bear with me for a second. General settings. Well, I can't find it for some reason. Take my word for it. There is the ability to create a custom power-up that you can then place on your map. And in Halo, we've had power-ups like the Overshield, Active Camo, that basically just gave you extra shields, made you invisible for a period of time. What you can do now is create a custom power-up that has any number of traits applied to it. So, in my version of High Ground, I could have a blue orb that when you pick it up, makes you run twice as fast, jump twice as high, do double damage, have unlimited ammo, and have extra motion sensor range on your tracker, and make it last for 90 seconds. People can do that and mix custom game variants, custom power-ups with their custom map variants to radically change the way that Halo 3 is going to be played. So that's a taste of user-created content. I don't want to waste all my time talking about that, though. I do have the campaign here. I will jump into this very quickly and give you guys a glimpse at this mission. Some of you may have seen this last night, but this is called Sabo Highway. It's the third mission of Halo 3. If you haven't been following the events of Halo 1 and 2, quick summary is that Earth's in really bad shape. The Covenant have landed. They've almost eradicated the human forces. At the end of Halo 2, Master Chief was hurtling back to Earth to basically finish the fight. And in Halo 3, that's going to be the player's mission, is to hopefully drive the Covenant off of Earth, save mankind, hopefully stop the flood, and ultimately find out where Cortana is and what's happened to her. Because for the first time in a Halo game, you're going to be playing without Cortana in your head helping you out. So here I start out inside a bombed-out Marine bunker that's been hit pretty hard by the Covenant. My objective here is to rally up the troops, hop in a Warthog, and we're going to make our way up the road to rendezvous with our forces further ahead.
You can walk, set your boots on the line.
Now, obviously, I'm playing by myself at the moment, but just to reiterate that we do have co-op again, and we do allow up to 4 people this time to play through the campaign together. On this mission particularly, it's really fun because what generally happens is 2 teams of 2 split up, each get their own Warthog, driver-gunner combination. If you turn on campaign scoring, which is another feature that we've added to the campaign, you now have the ability to sort of play the campaign in a social and competitive way. Every enemy you kill earns you a score. If you land a headshot, you get more points. If you stick on the grenade, you get more points. All the stuff that used to be associated with multiplayer in terms of medals and things of that nature can be applied to the campaign now if you choose. Even up to the point where at the end of each mission you'll have a post-game carnage report that'll rank you and your buddies and sort of give you a final score tally. And these scores are modified by difficulty settings, so playing a legendary will earn you a lot more points than playing an easy, for example.
Only many of them standing.
And one of the things that's pretty apparent on this mission early on is just the sort of the sense of scale and scope that Bungie's really tried to go for in Halo 3. It's been one of our primary design decisions was to really turn everything up a few notches, take advantage of the new hardware that we have behind us, and for the first time build a Halo experience that really truly feels epic in scope, from the size of the environment to the number of characters on screen. In that regard, we really, a lot of ways, talk about Halo 3 as the Halo game that we've always wanted to make. And In my opinion, this is the best Halo game that VaDeJocs ever produced, and even diehard fans who long for the days of the Halo 1 campaign experience and Pulse on the control room, I think are going to be very happy with how we've managed to kind of recapture some of that magic, but then take it even further. Since this is the first mission in the game where you actually get to drive a vehicle, it starts off a little bit slow. Initially you're basically learning how to drive. I'll drive around here for a little bit. I am actually only playing on normal too, just to put some perspective on it. Generally, for anyone who's ever played Halo, we absolutely recommend that you play on Heroic. Heroic's going to be a lot more fun and a lot more challenging. Both Heroic and Legendary this time around are going to offer, I think, more difficulty, whereas Easy and Normal, I think, are going to be a lot more accessible than they were in the past. So hopefully Halo 3 will have a setting that's right for everyone. I'm going to keep plowing ahead here and get up to the next encounter.
My convoy's been hit. I've got wounded. We're on the Savo Highway about east of Moy.
Couple brute choppers to deal with here. Wow. If I was playing on Heroic, I would most certainly be dead by now. But I am sort of cutting my way at these guys, just so I don't waste your time by dying. But I can't understate enough that I do not recommend normal for regular people. Anyone who's ever played Halo owes it to themselves to play on Heroic.
Like a shooter, like you played other shooters and not Halo?
I think so, to be honest. I mean, it's in some ways Heroic is a totally different game than normal. There are some areas of this mission that I'll get to in a minute that on normal you might fight Phantom may drop off 4 or 5 brutes and then die pretty easily. On Heroic it'll drop off about 13 brutes and they're really hard to kill, and then once they're dead a whole other Phantom comes in with 13 more brutes. Meanwhile there's a Wraith showing you as well. So in normal and easy you don't really have that experience. You kill a couple guys and you get to move on. At this point I'm forced to progress on foot, but rather than play that live for you right now, I'll use this opportunity to load up a replay save film that I have from this exact moment that I made earlier today. You guys have probably seen some of the save film stuff already, maybe in the beta, maybe in some of the other stuff that we've put out there. Save films essentially allow you to save a replay of every game you play, whether it's multiplayer or campaign. And in this case, I'm going to go down here to my saved film that I made this morning from Savo Highway. This one's about 12 minutes long and it's 1 meg. So cool thing about our films is that they're not really movie files, they're just game data, they're code that are rendering back in the box, in our engine, in real time, which makes them very easy to upload and share. And these are all meant to be totally shared around the community. Obviously, it's going to be a really cool thing for guys that make machinima films. For people that want to become better at multiplayer, they can go online, find films from some of the top players, find the film from the guy who just beat you, and watch the match from his perspective. And next time you play him, maybe he won't be so lucky.
You would actually have to manually upload that for you to see it, right?
No, he wouldn't. I mean, if you played
yeah, I was saying.
if you played against me, no. And actually,
but it's not like it doesn't archive like every match played for
globally. Yeah, at that point, they're saved locally. So if I've never played you before, and if you don't upload your film to your Xbox Live share, then I'll never be able to see it.
Okay, so
but if somebody else played you, they could share it.
Yeah,
so you know, it's like this sort of cascading effect that if anybody's ever played against you, then they now have a film that has you, and from there it could spread anywhere. This is my normal first-person view. This is right where we just sort of left off. I'm watching it from my own perspective. It's telling me that I'm watching my character. In co-op, you can change between which guy's view you're watching. In the multiplayer, you can also change which perspective, like I mentioned, which guy you're gonna watch. I don't need to do that yet. I'm going to fast forward by holding on the right trigger and get up here where the action really starts to kick in. So I can stop it and start it by hitting the A button, and then this is where films really get pretty amazing. Is by tapping the Y button again, I can get into a free camera mode. And again, multiplayer and campaign, I can literally fly around with a pretty intense amount of freedom. and watch the battle that I just fought in from any vantage point, including flying all the way across the map. And here, my objective now is to actually get to this bunker and rendezvous with these Marines that are being pinned down by this brute, all these brutes. Meanwhile, I'm way back over here fighting. I don't even know what's going on, but there's a whole other battle unfolding on this side of the crater.
I will lift your heads from your shoulders, demons!
Go back to Chief for a minute, speed it up a little bit.
Ready to do this? Let's move!
Right there.
Another thing you can do with your films is when you have like a cool shot that you like, maybe it's a cool moment in single player, maybe it's you corpse something to your buddy in multiplayer after you beat him, you can take a screenshot. And with a couple button presses, I actually now have a high-res screenshot that's even higher than what's being played on my Xbox. Save it, goes to my hard drive. From there, it can be uploaded live, shared with my friends. But even better, that screenshot's now being sent to Bungie.net. So just like we did for Halo 2, we're going to have a really robust internet experience for Halo 3 players. Everything that you'd expect, like campaign, scoring, statistics, your multiplayer record, win-loss, medals that you've earned, how you and your friends compare, all that stuff. But you'll also get your own custom screenshot gallery that you can populate with screens you take from the game.
Do you know what the max res is on the screenshots?
Off the top of my head,
80 maybe or something?
it is... What's 10...
Yeah, 1920 by 1080 is
yeah,
I just wanted to be making some desktop wallpaper.
yeah, they're pretty high. I'm actually trying to think of what they're going to land at. I believe it'll be probably about 1.5x. So
Yeah, that sounds good.
what's 720 is what? 1280 by 720? So it's that times 1.5.
Okay.
So it's
That sounds
not. Yeah, it's pretty significant.
sweet.
Let me go back here and fast forward a little bit more. I mean, I can also, if I want, just go back into first person with or without HUD.
Is there literally any gameplay experience in the game at all that you can't record like this? Like between Forge, single player, multiplayer, I mean, everything?
The UI, I guess?
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about like anything in game.
You can play it, you can record it.
Okay.
We got reinforcements!
Comes our first wave of reinforcements here, Phantom dropship.
Pelicans are inbound, heavy
It's
weapons.
pretty crazy though, because I can actually fly all the way up here and go inside the ship. And there's a bunch of brutes ready to come out and fight me, including some grunts gunning me.
We need to hold down until they arrive.
Okay, you guys have any questions while I'm letting this play? I mean, we've got just a few more minutes.
When you were showing the Forge earlier, the camera pulled out, and you were playing one of the other characters, so that was one of the new co-op guys, right?
No, that was just
the generic
multiplayer elite permutation, but that was the same armor that the multiplayer character wears, or the co-op character wears.
Oh yeah, I was curious if those new co-op guys in particular would be playing on multiplayer.
Not specifically they're not, but you could recreate their look by picking the right color armor combination.
Okay.
This is my glorious use of a trip mine down here by this brute chieftain, which we have a couple different ranks of brutes in the game, and they have different AI behaviors and attack patterns and ways of acting in combat based on their rank. So a lot of times these chieftains will actually hang back in combat, let the foot soldiers get out in front, and they'll sort of issue commands like throw grenades, flank the guy. And if you kill the chieftain, sometimes they'll actually throw his army into disarray and change how the battle unfolds. Here I throw down this strip mine, and then what better way to set it off than with a nice sticky grenade? one new addition to the race this time around has a little secondary gunner turret on it. So you're no longer vulnerable to guys that kind of run up on it. A lot harder to board too.
Right. The videos have you made,
Watch it now.
you can share with people like them.
Here and voice.
The videos, yes, you can save them, upload them, and then share them with anybody else on Xbox Live.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can even go up here to something that would never normally ever be seen by a player, and just watch Dizzy. Watch this Pelican come in. Fresh Warthog being dropped off. A couple Marines, including a pilot. Oh, is that about it?
That's about it. We've got the next one racing.
Okay. You guys got the hardcore presentation then.
Yeah, it's actually a funny thing with developers when they do. If I was a journalist, I'd always book my appointments at the end of the day. Well, because they show more at the end of the day.